new life will begin. With nature giving an important role in protecting our life. With a modern city comes with new hope. A residential area with a healthy and growing house concept. The first green belt in Indonesia. Connecting each region. A premium clubhouse as a centerpiece with numerous facilities. Complete facilities that you need to build your life. This is a city which will continue to grow in its development, providing a high investment value. Kota Podomoro Tenjo. This is where your future is.
Haus di luar, haus di rumah. Makan pedas di luar, makan pedas di rumah. Paling nikmat minumnya teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum. Manisnya pas, teh pucuk harum mau. Enggak nyangkut di leher, enggak bikin haus lagi.
Mau di dalam atau di luar rumah, minumnya teh pucuk harum. Bikin seger di mana aja.
The British Institute was founded in 1984, and we've helped thousands of people develop their English language skills. Using communicative, student-centered and task-based approach, our academic team ensures that our delivery methods are up to date. Our public class students undergo a variety of courses such as very young learners, pre-teenagers, teenagers, general English, business communication, conversation, writing, and many more. We've helped them compete in the marketplace. When's your turn?
Universitas Multimedia Nusantara adalah universitas berbasis teknologi terakreditasi institusi A. UMN memiliki 4 fakultas dan 13 program studi antara lain Informatika, Sistem Informasi, Teknik Komputer, Teknik Elektro, Teknik Fisika, Manajemen, Akuntansi, Perhotelan, Strategic Communication, Multimedia Journalism, Desain Komunikasi Visual, Film, dan arsitektur. Selain mendidik mahasiswa menjadi profesional, UMN juga mendidik mahasiswanya untuk menjadi entrepreneur melalui program Skystar Ventures. Untuk mengembangkan soft skill mahasiswa, UMN menyediakan berbagai unit kegiatan mahasiswa. UMN juga memiliki berbagai fasilitas yang sesuai standar industri. UMN, Excellent Career Begins with Excellent Education.
Hello and good afternoon, respected judges, participants, and fellow audience. Today, I, Shane Glorfina, and my friend, Matthew Rio, will be your hosts today to accompany you.
Today is a very special occasion for all of us, and we've gathered a bunch of participants from all over Indonesia.
We also have some special guests with us today who also will be our judges.
For our first judge, we have Miss Denise Naila Sakina, who is from Model United Nations, ALSA IFEST Undip. She also has a law degree from Undip.
And she has a lot of achievements as well, such as being the English voiceover for Pustakom Kemendikbud Indonesia, a delegation for DKI Jakarta in the National Speech Competition, Axioma in 2017, and also she became a semi-finalist in a speech competition for National ALSA English Competition 2020.
Hi, Miss
Miss
Denise.
Dennis.
How are you doing?
Hello, guys. I'm fine. I hope you guys are fine too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the second judge. Matthew, please.
For our second judge, we have Miss Naura Engi Amera. She works in media and marketing, ALSA IFEST Moon 2021, and is a graduate from Undip and has a law degree as well.
Her achievements are also very outstanding, like the previous judge. She's the Vice Director for External Affairs, Asian Law Students Association, Local Chapter Undip 2020-2021, a delegate of IHL Universitas Diponegoro 2019, and the head of Substance ALSA FS MUN 2019.
Hi, Miss Nora. How are you doing?
I hope we are doing well.
And for the last judge, we have one more spectacular judge who will be with us today.
She's an English teacher and the academic team leader at TBI, Miss Dwi Ekasari.
Not only does she teach and become a team leader, she was also a judge for Don Bosco Kelapa Gading Speech Competition 2017-2018, for Penabur Speech Competition 2018-2019, and lastly for UGC Speech Competition 2018 and 2019.
Hi, Miss Dwi. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you.
Glad to hear. Wow, she must be really good at this field. Well, without further ado, why don't we just move on to the competition?
Okay, but Shane, we haven't really introduced what Escalates is. So what exactly is Escalates?
Escalates itself is an annual cup held by SMAK 5 Penabur, Jakarta. And of course, for this year, we will still be holding it virtually. Sad.
But that doesn't mean it's gonna be less fun than the other Escalates we've had before.
Yep, that's right. This time, Escalates will bring you the theme of equality with the title of Equinox. The word equinox itself came from combining a few words from the English dictionary, which is equality in our complex society. Interesting, right? Hey Matt, why do you think the committee chose this theme anyway?
Well, I think they chose this theme because equinox itself refers to the term equality in our complex society. I believe the committee chose this theme because they want to prove that equality must exist, especially in Indonesia, where there are various of ethnic groups, religions, and many more.
We hope that by holding this event, the audience will realize the importance of equality for everyone based on their needs and quality. Not to mention, we also hope that they can develop their talents in this year's Escalates event.
That's right. Now we all know the meaning of Escalates Equinox.
So Matt, what competition will we be hosting today?
Well, as for today, we would like to bring you the Escalates Equinox 2021 English Speech Competition.
Before we get started with the competition, we'll give a brief explanation of the rules that respected judges and all participants must follow, so this event can flow smoothly without any disturbance.
Recording rules. All participants must obey all rules and regulations that apply during Escalates Equinox. Participants and/or guardians involved in live stream recording must wear polite and presentable attire and behave obediently throughout Escalate Equinox.
Participants and/or guardians involved in live streaming recording are not permitted to use attributes such as virtual background that violate public norms. Participants and/or guardians involved in live streaming are not permitted to use inappropriate language, offend other parties, and violate electronic information and transactions (ITE law) during the Escalates Equinox. The committee will not be responsible for the consequences of the actions committed by participants.
Participants and/or guardians involved in live stream recording are not permitted to cause disturbance during live stream recording, such as unmuting the microphone without permission and making noises, being intolerant towards moderator and judges, and continuously spamming in chat boxes. The committee will not be responsible for the consequences of actions committed by participants. Issues regarding internet connections and other technical difficulties will not be the committee's responsibility.
The committee has all rights regarding videos submitted by participants, and the recording results will be uploaded on YouTube Live on the week of the Escalates Equinox implementation. All decisions made by the judges are final and irrevocable.
Participants take turns recording on Zoom along with judges and moderators according to schedule, with or without waiting for the presence of each companion who accompanies the participants. All participants involved in the Zoom live stream recording have to follow the full name, strip, school name format with a maximum of 64 characters.
All guardians involved in the Zoom live streaming have to follow the guardian full name, strip, school name format with a maximum of 64 characters. Participants and/or guardians involved in live streaming recording must activate cameras and are not permitted to use replacement pictures or mannequin as proof of attendance. If caught, the committee has the right to take actions.
Participants will be disqualified if participants do or make commotion, cheat, and disobey the competition regulations.
That's all for the recording regulations. Now the time has come for us to finally watch our contestant speech videos. We'll start with the topic of how to practice Pancasila in our complex society, brought by Michiko, Electra, Immanuel from Tunas Bangsa.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here. My name is Michiko Electra Immanuel and I am from Tunas Bangsa. So today I'm going to be speaking to you how to practice Pancasila in our complex society. So to begin with, let's imagine if we don't know how to practice Pancasila in our complex society. Will our country and lives be different from now? And let's imagine if we do know how to practice Pancasila in our complex society. Wouldn't it be much better? We can practice Pancasila by respecting others that is different from us. We can also practice Pancasila by friending someone that is different from us without looking down on them. Followed by respecting others' belief and religions. Pancasila required us to respect others, help others, and also love our own country. So in conclusion, Pancasila could really help us to unite and not torn apart. It can also help our society to be a peaceful and good society. So everyone, from now on, let's start practicing Pancasila in our complex society so that our society could be a peaceful and better society. That's all from me. Thank you for your time and God bless you.
Now, I kindly invite Miss Dennis to give comments regarding Michiko's speech performance.
Okay. Hello, Michiko. I would like to give a few comments regarding your speech, and I guess I will going to a brief, like a general comment regarding your speech. First of all, as we can see, it was a pretty short speech. I mean, I feel like you're not into the research so much. I feel like you could have explore more topic regarding the topic, like the structure of the speech itself. Also, I think regarding your pronunciation, it was fine, but the articulation aren't so much because I was having trouble listening to your speech a few couple times because of how um, slow pace and then fast pace that you use regarding the speech. And I guess that's for the material. And as for the structure, as I said before, as I mentioned, the body of the speech, the conclusion, and then the introduction itself of the topic are really well put together, I feel like. However, the fluency are fine, but your pace, rhythm, and confidence are not so much. Maybe because this is your first time, is it? Yeah, okay. That was fine. I guess yeah, that's all I could give for the comment for your performance. However, I think if you have a little bit more research and then your time, you take times in order to, you know, pay attention what you want to say. I guess that could be better. I suppose that's all for you, Michiko. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Dennis, for your comments. Michiko, how do you feel about your performance?
It's not very good because it's really my first time doing it, and I'm very nervous on talking with a lot of people, so it's a new experience.
Oh, how did you come to the idea of delivering your speech?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, maybe because this is your first time. Well, we hope to see you next year with maybe with a better speech. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
Well, now Michiko, do you wish to ask any questions to the judges?
No, that's all.
Thank you, Michiko, for your performance. Now, moving on, let's continue to the next participant.
Next up, we have David Pattun Krishalom Sitompul from SMPK Penabur Bogor with the title speech of Do Animals Deserve Rights?
Hello everyone, my name is David Pattun Krishalom Sitompul, or you can just call me David. I'm a student at BPK Penabur Bogor Junior High School. Today, I'm going to be discussing about animal rights. So, let's go straight to the topic. Do animals deserve rights? Well, in my opinion, I think animals, whether they're in the wild, traded, or pets, deserve them. In fact, Office International des Epizooties, in short of OIE, has defined several rights for them. For examples, free from thirsty and hungry, free from pain, injury, and disease, free to express natural behavior, and so many more. I would give 3 reasons to why animals deserve rights. First is because animals are living creatures just like humans. Animals have feelings like sad, hurt, loss, just like humans. There's so many cases that violate animal rights. And the reason for them is because for money, pride, and experiment. If we reverse the position, I'm pretty sure that no one would like it. For example, if a part of your body is taken or your child has been kidnapped, I'm sure you'll be mad and sad, right? So we should not do the same thing to animals as well. Second is because happy animals make better living for human. For example, well-respected and treated cows will give better milk and meat. It will not only make better for the farmer, but also for the consumer in the next generation. Finally, it's because animals are important for the ecosystem. If we don't do their rights, then the animal's chances of extinct is huge. And if animal extinct, the nature will not be in harmony anymore, and the food chain will be negative. For example, a research in USA says that 1 in 4 types of bee is endangered, and plants and crops is the pollination of plants and crops is the rate is low all across the country. So in conclusion, if you ask me, do animals deserve rights? In my opinion, I think they do. And please remember about animal rights and also the consequences if you don't do their rights. And remember to teach people about teach people so that we won't make the same mistake again. So thank you and bye.
What an amazing speech brought by David. Now I kindly invite Miss Naura to give comments regarding David's speech.
Okay. Hello, David. It's nice to meet you. Okay. I would like to give you some appreciation because you can give some fluent language to for the videos and also uh, for the details in the performance itself. I think you need to maximize your eye contact to the camera, and then for the expression and also gesticulations. I think you are nervous. Is it your first time or not, David?
It's my first time.
It's your first time. I see. However, about the attire and it does, I love to see it. I mean, you know, your neat and I think about the pace and also the rhythm for your speech, it needs to be more slowed down. I think that's all. And also, good luck, David. That's all. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Miss Angie, for your comments. It was very captivating, wasn't it, Shane?
I highly agree. For a first timer, for me it wasn't that bad, and I think what Miss Angie, Miss Angie has commented will really affected your performance. I mean your next performance, David. So I'm really looking up to you.
We really hope we can see you next year, David, with a better speech. And also, so you can prepare more for your speech. Well, do you have any questions to ask to the judges, David?
No.
Well, thank you, David, for your amazing performance. Okay, now let's continue to the next participant.
Moving on, let's welcome our third contestant, Josh Timothy Kwan from SMPK 1 Penabur will bring you an amazing speech with the title of The Importance of Equity in Education in Indonesia.
Hello, my name is Josh, and for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to try to explain why equity is so important in Indonesia, and especially in education. Indonesia is a place full of diversity, from race to culture to religious beliefs. So with a place full of diversity, there's bound to be some inequity, but that's bound to happen. Even in third world countries, inequity still exists, America. But why does that happen? How does it impact our lives? And today, we'll be tackling the topic of why equity is so important in Indonesia and specifically in education. But before we tackle such a cesspool of a subject and an even more cesspool of a speech, let's start off with something simple. What is equity? I've been throwing around that word over and over again, but do you even know what the word equity even means? Well, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, equity means the quality of being fair and impartial. And you might think, wait, isn't that just equality? Well, that's complicated. Let me explain. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, equality means being in a state of equal, especially in opportunities. And you might also think, wait, isn't being fair and equal the same thing? And the answer to that question is no. According to Marsya, a speaker, publisher, and also an author, said that being fair means when everyone gets what they need or deserve, while being equal means that everyone gets the same regardless of what they need. Now apply that to education. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you're a student and your friend is lacking in some school subjects while you're just doing fine in schools. The way schools implement equity is by giving the student who's struggling extra classes. And by doing that, schools are implementing equity by giving more support to the people who need it, so they can achieve the same goal and become successful people and become a good member of society. Now, education in Indonesia has improved significantly over the past few centuries. To be fair, I still can't believe that not over a century ago, women weren't allowed to pursue education. Which in retrospect, it wasn't that long ago, but why was that? Why weren't women allowed to go to school? How does inequity in gender start? People used to think like this. This person from this category is like this, thus everyone from this category is like that. So, for example, in education, people used to think females like this. This female person right here is good at doing housework. Thus, every female should just do housework. Thus, they should all just stay in the kitchen. Thus, they shouldn't go to school. That's why females used to not be allowed to go to school. It's a good thing now that the education system has improved and now we have female rights. Can you imagine a world where females aren't allowed to go to school? The education system has certainly improved, but it certainly hasn't been perfected. Things like social classes, blocking the way of good education, like most good schools being private schools that are very hard to afford to people who are at the lower class. This resulting in the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. I hope the government deals with this problem by adding better public schools, but I'm not smart enough to talk about this, so let's just wrap things up before it gets too long. I hope education in Indonesia improves like a lot, so the education system gets better and even more fair. So in conclusion, equity in education is very important to shape students into good members of society. And also don't stereotype people, that's just wrong. That's also a thing to learn. So with that done, thank you for listening to this poorly written speech with no structure at all. And I'm Josh signing off. Bye.
Wow, what an amazing performance by Josh. Now I kindly invite Miss Dwi to give comments regarding Josh's speech performance.
Hi, can you hear me fine? Yes, okay. Hi, Josh. Are you here? Hi. Josh, I really enjoy your speech. I think you have very unique but fun expressions. I enjoyed that's why I think you can get your audience attention just from your expression. So that's great. And also your structure, I like it a lot because I think you started strong. It shows that you did your research. So your introduction is was very engaging, and also the ideas that you presented in your body of speech, they were well supported. And being a feminist myself, I really enjoy the message that you sent in your speech. And also, yeah, the inequality in our education, you also describe it there in your body of speech, so that's great. However, your conclusion though, I think you can improve more there. There was a pessimistic tone at the end. Maybe it's not a good idea to be that pessimistic at the end, saying that your speech is not really well structured. So maybe you can skip that one for your next speech. And so I guess, yeah, the language showed that you have a very wide range of vocabulary, and I didn't really notice a lot of grammatical mistakes, so that's great. For better performance next time, maybe, yeah, the closing, try to finish strong as well. And also try to enunciate better. If you, I mean, like that can also help you improve your speech. So I guess that's all. Again, Josh, you did a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Dwi, for your comments. Wow, wow, wow. That was a very appealing speech delivered by you, right, Matthew?
I couldn't agree more with you. I gotta say, your speech was very inspiring for all of us. I gotta ask, was this your first time giving a speech, Josh?
No, actually.
We can definitely see that. The story that you brought up was very interesting as well. Personally, I love how you performed your facial expressions and how you brought the topic, especially about the education in Indonesia. May I know where did that whole idea came from? And how did you manage to deliver it so effortlessly?
Uh, I don't think I delivered it effortlessly. I think it was terrible. And the whole idea came from when my cousin was bullied. And then she told me the story. And then I was like, oh, let write a speech about this. And then this speech competition just started. So I just thought of like, let me just write the speech. And this is how it came to be.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Would you like to ask any questions to the judges?
Was that comment sarcasm? Or
No, no. My comment? No.
no, other judges, like,
Oh, oh.
was that sarcastic? Or was it like genuine? Because seeing how terrible I performed my speech, I think it was sarcastic.
You're being humble, Josh. You did quite well, actually. So, but yeah, I do think that there's still room for improvement. You do need to work on your closing, I would say. But overall, it was actually quite enjoyable.
Thank you, Miss Dui, and thank you, Josh, for your excellent performance. Let's move on to the next participant, shall we?
For our fourth participant, we have Celine Haurissa from SMPK 2 Penabur, who will be bringing the speech with the topic of the impact of Sumpah Pemuda toward the millennial generation to embrace our diversity.
Hello, my name is Celine Haurissa. I'm a 9th grade student from SMPK 2 Penabur, Jakarta. In this video, I'll be performing the speech I've written, titled, Is Sumpah Pemuda Losing Its Touch on the Younger Generation? With more than 17,000 islands spread across the Pacific and Indian Ocean, and home to more than 1,300 ethnic groups, with at least 95% native to the archipelago. In addition to 300 spoken languages in the country, Indonesia is arguably the most culturally and geographically diverse country in the world. In the month of October, there's a special day, dedicated to one of the most prominent moments in Indonesia's history. Do you know what is it? It is the birth of Sumpah Pemuda, an oath that crystallized the unity of Indonesian youth, fighting against colonialism. It is celebrated every year on the 28th of October, honoring the Second Youth Congress when the oath was sworn. The Sumpah Pemuda plays an important role in creating an embracing and accepting society despite the cultural and social differences Indonesia has. The oath proclaimed 3 ideas: one motherland, one nation, and one language. It is truly a milestone that helped Indonesia reach its goal of independence. Interestingly, the oath was made by young Indonesian activists and nationalists of those times, a time where having an idea was seen as a crime and truly dangerous. We should be grateful that now we don't have to fight for it anymore and we can just enjoy the outcome of their hard work. Even though now we are independent, it does not mean that we are free from troubles and problems. After the independence, issues regarding discrimination and hate crime have kept branching and branching. Even though some issues have gotten better since, it does not mean that the root of hate and prejudice does not exist today. As an example, as recent as August of 2019, a group of Indonesian nationalists attacked Papuan students, calling them racist epithets such as dog and monkey. Ethnic Maluku students have reportedly experienced similar incidents in Central Java. I am deeply disturbed by these dastardly deeds. No human in this world deserves such hurtful actions. Our national heroes have risked their lives and were burning the candle at both ends for the sake of our country. Is this who we are? Is this who we represent? Is this how we honor their hard work and lives? My fellow young people, today we're living in a world where others created for us. Our national heroes have put forth an exceeding amount of effort into creating Sumpah Pemuda, in hopes that we, the future generation, could stand as brothers and sisters in one nation, which is Indonesia. If we could stop thinking as individuals and start working as a community, we can help create a better world for ourselves and the future generations ahead, just like our national heroes did. The world is a beautiful place because of the diversity we encompass. Do not let racist, bigots, and prejudice take that away from us. Let's join hands together as a nation to accept and embrace the diversity as a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Wow, what an engaging speech by Celine. Now, I kindly invite Ms. Danis to give comments regarding Celine's speech performance.
Okay, hello, Celine. Good afternoon for you. And I would like to, first of all, congratulations. That was a very good speech, I personally feel. And I would like to give you a few comments regarding your performance. First of all, I think the timing was actually great. You're not too short, but not exceed the time limit, which is 5 minutes. That's the first one. And then you're also for the structure, your speech, like the body, the introduction. I actually really like it because it's very nice, well structured. However, I can see that I think you've been reading a few parts on your screen. I don't know, but it feels like I feel like you read some of the lines that you were on your speech, and then that's the second one. What else? Also, your performance. I think the pace, the rhythm, your fluency. It was actually pretty great. I like the pace. You're not talking too fast. You're not also too well. I mean, I am as the audience. I understand exactly what you meant, what you're trying to say on your speech. And then mm, for the what else? I guess for the confidence, you're not really that much confidence. Although I can see why. Maybe because you're talking to a screen. That's probably why. And I guess that's very reasonable. However, I think that's should be your what's the I think it should be since there's no one actually looking at you. I would suggest that you could have become more confident. Also, from the performance that you gave us, I can only see your head, like your neck to your head. I think it was very good if you show a little bit of movement with your hands or your body language. I feel like that's all. Thank you, Celine.
Thank you, Miss Dennis, for your comments. It was very engaging, wasn't it, Shane? I gotta say, Celine was very aware of the problems that is happening in Indonesia, such as the problem that happened in Papua. And your speech was very inspiring. It reminded me of how important Sumpah Pemuda is to all of us.
I gotta admit, it was very lovely. And not only that, your speech was very eye-opening to me. I think it also reminded all the audience how important Sumpah Pemuda is and how it can help us to stop thinking as individuals, as you said on your speech. And could you please enlighten me where your inspiration came from?
Well, I've read a lot of stories about, like hate crimes and around the world, and it really hurted me because why would you like hurt people just because they're different than you? You're still human, and I want to bring light to that problem.
Thank you for bringing that awareness for all of us. Well done, Celine. Now, Celine, do you wish to ask any questions to the judges?
Well, for now, I'm good. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Celine, for your incredible performance. And now let's continue to the next participant. But before we continue, let us have our little commercial break. Don't go anywhere because right after this, we'll see more astounding participants.
Dedenya nendang.
Bahagianya tak ternilai. Aku tahu di masa kehamilan asupan air mineral sangat penting.
Harus aman dan bersih. Untuk itu kita pilih Le Mineral. Galonnya selalu baru, terjamin bersih.
Makin yakin dan bikin tenang deh.
Udah gitu, tutupnya kedap udara. Jadi bebas virus.
Jadi aman buat aku dan calon buah hatiku. Seger kayak ada manis-manisnya.
Galon Le Mineral, bikin tenang, bikin nyaman.
Saat berolahraga, kita kehilangan banyak cairan tubuh. Gantikan cairan tubuh kamu yang hilang dengan 7 ion utama dan kesegaran ekstrak buah yuzu asli dalam yuzu isotonik. Lebih dari isotonik biasa.
Sibuk beraktivitas membuatmu haus? Yuk minum Yuzu Tea. Dengan ekstrak buah yuzu asli, Yuzu Tea mengandung vitamin C tinggi. Yuzu Tea Original dan Yuzu Green Tea. Penuhi kebutuhan vitamin C harianmu.
Halo guys, gue Renaldo, gue mahasiswa Ukrida. Banyak orang yang nanya ke gue, kenapa gue pilih Ukrida sebagai kampus pilihan. Sekarang gue akan kasih tahu kalian why I choose Ukrida. Kampus Ukrida lokasinya super strategis. Akses menuju kampus juga banyak banget. Dan akses yang mudah tentunya jadi salah satu pertimbangan penting untuk milih kampus.
Di Ukrida, kita diajak untuk menggali potensi diri melalui fakultas-fakultasnya. Semua fakultasnya pun sudah terakreditasi dengan baik, sangat baik, dan bahkan unggul. Jadi kalian bisa memilih sesuai dengan minat kalian.
Join sekarang dan temukan potensi terbaikmu.
Bersama Ukrida, kita jadi pemimpin muda.
Sebelum kita melanjutkan, kita selaku panitia ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Kota Podomoro Tenjo, Teh Pucuk Harum, Le Minerale, dan juga EduBridge.
Kami juga ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada PT Astra Daihatsu Motor karena telah mensponsori acara ini. Kalian dapat mencari informasi produk dan promo lengkap lebih lanjut di www.daihatsu.co.id.
Nah, teman-teman, jangan lupa juga nih untuk follow dan like Facebook Daihatsu Indonesia dan juga Instagram serta Twitter di Daihatsu IND.
Tahu nggak sih Shane? Daihatsu Indonesia juga punya YouTube loh untuk informasi lainnya. Kalau gitu teman-teman, jangan lupa juga ya untuk subscribe ke YouTube channel Daihatsu Sahabatku.
Our fifth contestant, Felisitas Putri Meirani from SMPK Penabur Harapan Indah with how to practice Pancasila in our complex society.
Good day to all the judges. First of all, let us praise to our Almighty God because of His blessing endlessly in our life up to now. I would like to say thanks for the opportunity to deliver a speech in front of you all. Be thankful for living in Indonesia, which consists of many unique illustrations. This is one of the reasons why Indonesia is worthy of being called as a country full of diversity. However, diversity is a two-edged sword. It can be one of the factors that prevent Indonesia to become a developed country, and it can also be a milestone that gives good impact for the country. But how about various changes as the world has evolved over time? How can people deal with the diversity and various changes? Hello judges, committees, and friends. My name is Felisitas Putri Meirani from SMPK Penabur Harapan Indah, and today I would like to bring up an issue about how to practice Pancasila in our complex society. One way to create that good impact is through Pancasila, because since the 1st of June 1945, Pancasila has become Indonesia's national principle, and it makes Pancasila becomes an important element in Indonesia. Each 5 states in Pancasila also have their own duty to create a better society. If we take a look at the world changes lately, globalization has taken a big part in the society. Every unwelcome culture invades and knocks down our foundation like nothing but war. This is a chance for Pancasila to be a shield and a weapon to our country to be up against war. But the questions left now are how to practice Pancasila in our society, and how can it affect the next level of life? 270 million inhabitants have the same goal, which is uniting diversity through Pancasila. It is something possible to make those happen. Young generation that has a potential to guide Indonesia to become a developed country. And in this case, school is being the agent that must have a conducive environment and oppose behavior that is not in accordance with societal norms. School has 2 important roles, which are give knowledge and builds character
as well as students' mindset. For example, think of the imprinting process from the newly hatched school. Imprinting is a process when baby fall presume the first thing they see is their mother. This process is almost the same as school's important roles, which is shaping their student. School has to be an example for students in practicing Pancasila in daily life. For example, the application of the first state of Pancasila. When students show an exclusivism attitude in religion, no matter how small it is, teacher or guidance should take an act on that as soon as possible and must not take it as a trivial thing. The second state inculcates the point of to be a human as social beings. The third state is builds spirits of nationalism and always remind them about how they should be grateful for living in an independent country. The fourth state is deliberation to reach consensus. Create a community based on socializing and how to treat others' opinion well. The fifth state is fair and justice. School should be fair to each student regardless of their background. If we can actualize all of this, we can make a big change for our country. Young generation with proper attitude, great mindset, and strong foundation of Pancasila can affect the old generation to make those good changes for our country. Equitable development, advanced technology, and also economic improvement. Lastly, to answer the question, how to practice Pancasila in our complex society, my answer is from the closest community that affects young generation and mostly and hold the big role, which is school. Later, the young generation can affect the old generation and make a better change, a better future for our country. I hope we can practice Pancasila in our daily routine and become the golden generation for Indonesia. Thank you, and see you next time. I hope you have a good day.
Wow, what an inspiring speech by Felicitas. Now I politely invite Miss Nora to give comments regarding Felicitas' speech performance.
Okay, hello Felicitas. It's nice to see you in the person. So I would like to give an appreciations about your gesticulations, about your hand gestures. I think it was very expressive, and you can give some give the audience about the speech that you were bringing to us, and then also your pronunciation is also great, I think. And however, about your eye contact and then the expressions, it's kind of, you know, a lack of expression itself. I think it's because you when you speech, when you do the speech, I think you also think about the narrations. You know, there's still an or something like that. So that's why I think you the expression itself is not really shown in the video. However, at least you have a great hand gestures, and also you know the context of the your speech, and then also about the confidence. I think you have a great confidence itself, and about the attire and neatness, you also have a great neatness, and also about the fluency, it's also great. However, you can do a boost of your expression. You know, if you want to do the speech, I think beside the hand gestures, you can also just so everyone blah 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 blah. Nah, I mean, you know, the expression itself, it gives us as the audience to have more interest of your speech. I think that's all. Thank you, Felicitas. You have a great confidence. Thank you, Shane and Matthew. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Miss Angie, for your comments. Round of applause for you, Fel, and of course, your speech. I personally like the way she delivered it, and I also agree with Miss Angie about the hand gestures. Don't you think so, Matt?
Yes, I couldn't agree more with you, Shane. I find your hand gestures and body gestures are very top notch. And Fel, I would like to ask you, how do you feel, Fel?
How do I feel right now?
Yes,
Yeah, about the
after,
comments.
yeah,
Well, it motivates me to become better than before. It motivates me to develop more of my speech because remembering this is my first time of joining a speech contest, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
Wow. I didn't think you were a first timer. I think I wouldn't be able to write them as well as yours. And I believe that your speech was powerful enough to uplift the audience. And yeah, it was perfect.
Thank you.
now Fel, do you wish to ask any questions to the judges?
Um, I don't think so, but thank you for commenting for my video.
Thank you, Fel, for your marvelous performance. Moving on, let's continue to the next contestant.
For our next contestant, we have Marsya, Ayudya, Anggia, Putri from SMP Pangudi Luhur, Kwan, Yogyakarta, with the topic Do Animals Deserve Rights?
The honorable judges at the Committee of ESCALADES Equinox and to everyone watching this video, I want to say thank you for allowing me to deliver a speech about animal rights. I hope you are healthy and happy, just like me, and I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Marsya Ayudya Putri from SMP Pangudi Luhur 1, Yogyakarta. What comes to your mind when you hear about animal rights? Maybe half of you guys think animal rights is a right that owned by animal or laws that protect animals. Indirectly, that matter is true, but in details, animal rights is the idea about animal freedom. What is an animal freedom? Animal freedom is an idea that basic animal non-human rights should be considered equal to basic human rights. Humans are at the top of the food chain. It doesn't mean that we are the only ones who have the right to live. As we all know, animals can feel pain, happy, fear, and also frustrated, just like us. But will the rights of animals be the same as those of humans? Will there be policies or laws that will govern the rights of these animals? Then, what are the rights of the animal? Reported from Tirto ID Antara News, according to Advokat Fauna Irma Hermawati, animal rights consist of 5 freedoms that are freedom from hunger and thirst, freedom from discomfort, freedom from express behavior, freedom from stress and fear, and the last one, freedom from pain, injury, and disease. One of the writers, Richard Ryder, wrote his book titled Panism, A Modern Morality, 2001, said, sense of hurt is an indicator for measured morality in this era. If human doesn't want to be hurt and feel pain, then animals too, because both of them are living things that can feel pain. Animals are not just to be protected, but they have the same freedom as humans. For example, about animals that must be bred on an industrial scale and consumed on a mass scale. This is considered a violation of animal rights. However, many people are not in line with such thoughts. They think if animal rights are widely approved, there will be many consequences for humans. What are the consequences for humans? Let's take some cases about animal breeding on an industrial scale. If we accept the animal rights, like it or not, trade in livestock must be stopped. Are all humans ready to accept the consequences? I personally think humans who are diverse and have different interests are not ready to accept these consequences. Therefore, it is necessary to have clear boundaries regarding animal rights. What are clear boundaries regarding animal rights? In fact, many rights are completely irrelevant to animals, such as freedom of religious, freedom of speech, and so on. Animal rights that are more appropriate to apply are that we, as humans, must not torture or exploit sadistically. We have to able to be humans who show a good morals by treating animal properly. Besides, we need to emphasize which animal deserves the rights they deserve in the eyes of humans too. Do animals that are harmful to humans also deserve to be protected? I feel that things can be detrimental to the common good of the people should not be developed. Hopefully, in the future, we can live side by side with animals without any more cases of violence and cruelty toward animals without humanity. Besides, if we can treat non-animals properly, it is certain that we are able to treat fellow human beings well. That's all that I can say in this speech about do animals deserve rights. I'm sorry if there are some mistakes that I made. I hope this speech can be meaningful for all of us. Thank you and have a great day.
What an amazing performance by Marsya. Now I kindly invite Miss Dwi to give comments regarding about her speech.
Hi, can you hear me fine? Yes, yeah, okay. Hi, Marsha. I really enjoyed your speech. I think what the message that you sent here was quite powerful. I do think that animals do have rights that we need to protect. Firstly, I think I would want to comment on the content of your speech. I think the content of your speech is very relevant, well researched, and also structured. The body of your speech in particular was excellent. I think you gave very strong supporting arguments with examples and also facts, so that's great. Your eye contact, expressions, pace, and rhythm were also very consistent from the beginning until the end. There were some mistakes though in grammar and pronunciation. However, I don't think that these mistakes affected the meaning or not, affected the meaning. So we could still understand what you were trying to say, even though, some native speakers or people who with higher proficiency in English would know that you're making such mistakes, but the meaning was still clear, so that's okay. Next time, maybe before you did, if say for example, you're planning to do another speech, attending another speech competition, it might be a good idea for you to ask your English teacher maybe to revise your script to avoid those kind of mistakes that are actually not necessary, something that you can avoid. Okay? Okay, thank you, Marsha. Again, I like your speech. Hopefully you can do much better in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss D, for your comments. The speech was very inspiring and your hand gestures were also very interesting, Marsha. Couldn't you agree more, Shane?
Yep, that's right. I think your facial expressions, your voice, and also your hand gestures were very cute. And not only that, I think your content of speech was also delivered really well. And not only that, we also know why animals deserve rights. If I may ask, why did the topic interest you and where did your inspiration came from?
Okay, first I want to say thank you for the judges and the committee. And I have this inspiration from cases about pony, orangutan. Maybe you know the cases. And then about the animal that being an entertainment object, something like that.
I see, okay. And how was this your first time giving a speech, Marsha?
Actually, it's my second time.
I see, I see. It was very, very structured and you have the confidence. Uh, Now, do you have any questions to ask the judges, Marsya?
I have one. Uh, how to be a confident person, like that. Thank you.
Miss Dewey, you can give your comments about it.
How to be a confident person? Well, that's quite difficult. I mean, like, how to be confident in speech, maybe I can answer that one. But to be a confident person in life, well, uh, that's quite difficult. So maybe I can just say, if you want to improve on your confidence in delivering a speech, lots of practice actually can help. So like this is your second time doing joining in a speech competition, and I think you gain more confidence in this second time. So yeah, the more you practice on things, you'll gain confidence bit by bit. So yeah, practice, I would say, something that you can do. And also, yeah, preparing things beforehand can also give you the confidence you need. So when you know that you've done your research, when you know that you've prepared the speech, you can, when you know that you have edited your speech, that can help you gain more confidence when you deliver your speech. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Marsya.
Thank you, Ms. Dewey, for your comments. Now let's give a round of applause for Marsya. Thank you, Mar, for your amazing performance. Before we continue, let us have our little commercial break. Don't go anywhere because right after this, we'll see more amazing participants.
Haus di luar, haus di rumah. Makan pedas di luar, makan pedas di rumah. Paling nikmat minumnya teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum. Manisnya pas, teh pucuk harum mau. Enggak nyangkut di leher, enggak bikin haus lagi.
Mau di dalam atau di luar rumah, minumnya teh pucuk harum. Bikin seger di mana aja.
Sebelum kita melanjutkan nih, kami selaku panitia ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada PT Astra Daihatsu Motor, PT Inti Megah Suara, PT Nogranta Surya Gemilang, Universitas Prasetya Mulia, dan juga Universitas Kristen Krida Wacana.
Kami juga ingin berterima kasih kepada Mayora Teh Pucuk Harum. Rasa teh terbaik ada di pucuknya.
Lalu sponsor berikutnya ada di EduBridge. We bridge because we care.
Dan yang terakhir, kami juga ingin berterima kasih kepada Kota Podomoro Tenjo. Kota Podomoro Tenjo merupakan kota satelit baru di barat Jakarta dan akan menjadi Serpong berikutnya dengan pengembangan yang terintegrasi antara hunian, komersial, dan area hijau yang sangat luas. Memiliki dua aksesibilitas yang terbaik, yaitu Tol Serpong Balaraja dan Grand TOD di jalur KRL Serpong yang akan segera dibangun. Kota Podomoro Tenjo memiliki konsep Green Belt pertama di Indonesia, yaitu area terbuka hijau luas yang menghubungkan setiap kawasan.
Terima kasih karena telah mensponsori acara ESCALADES Equinox 2021. Tanpa bantuan sponsor kita hari ini, acara kita tidak akan berjalan dengan lancar. That's it for the commercial break. Now let's move on for the 7th contestant.
For the 7th contestant, we have Frederico Antonio Thamrin from SMPK for Penabur with the topic of the importance of equity in education in Indonesia.
Hello and good afternoon, judges, guardians, participants, viewers, and others. I am Frederico. I am the representative of the ESCALADES Equinox Speech Competition 2021 from SMPK for Penabur. Today, I'm going to tell you about the importance of equity in education in Indonesia. Equity is a situation in which everyone is treated fairly and equally. In other words, the goals and expectations are the same for all students. But the support needed to achieve those goals depends on the students' needs. Schools play an important role in educating all of the school system, regardless of income, cognitive levels, native language, or fair education. This is where equity is critically important to education. Equity recognizes that different students need different resources to achieve their goals. In Indonesia, the government prioritizes regions like Java for better education, thus having the most resources for education, whereas some regions like Papua and Nusa Tenggara have the least resources for education. Based on my research, these two provinces have the least amount of interest in reading. I believe that the government needs to be more fair throughout Indonesia. Also, I see that almost every day that people who have disabilities and are dealing with autism are being mocked and hated. I personally think that this is not fair and this is hard to watch. We should all respect each other and treat each other with respect and kindness. Take it for an example. A student with a disability requires different physical support at school rather than an ordinary student who does not have a disability. None of the students are better or worse than another. They just have different needs, talents, and resources that prompt teachers to respond in different ways to each individual student. Take it for another example, like Nick Wojcik, who was born with no arms and no legs. He became an evangelist, a philanthropist, a motivational speaker, and an amazing writer. He also has a beautiful wife and shared 4 astonishing children with her. He is a great example for never giving up, being proud of how we were born, having faith in God, and the importance of equity for education. Another person is Stephen Hawking. He was paralyzed at the age of only 21. But he didn't give up. He became a famous physicist and made the discovery about black holes. He has 13 honorary degrees and won many scientific awards. He is another great example of why equity is important for education. Equity highlights what is fair for the individuals. In education, both group and individual needs are important. All students should have equal access to high-quality education And once they get it, they should all be afforded equitable support to achieve success. That's why everyone, I think that equity is very important for education in Indonesia and the rest of the world as well. That is all from me, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed my speech about the importance of equity in education in Indonesia. I strongly hope that everyone that heard my speech today will have more awareness and respect each other more. Please spread the word. I'm Frederico and I'm from SMPK from Penabur. I hope you all are going to have an amazing day. Thank you for your attention.
What an amazing speech and also cute by Frederico. Now I politely invite Ms. Dennis to give comments regarding Frederico's speech performance.
All right. Hello, Frederico. I would like to congrats you for that amazing performance. It was actually really good. A few things that I noticed is that you did your research very well. It was very in depth of the and it's very relevant with the topic and theme that you choose. I would also highlight that you are able to paraphrase and tell the story in a very engaging way. Um, and your structure of speech is also pretty well. It is, I could understand like the introduction of the topic and then the climax of the topic itself, as well as the conclusion and the coherence of overall speeches. Regarding your performance, it was great. It's really great. Like I really like your pace. I think it was similar with the previous performance. I think the pace was really good because you don't speak too fast, you don't speak too slow as well. I could totally understand what you were trying to say. And for your confidence, I see that you're really confident and you really are cute. I think you're an apple of my eye. And for rhythm, I think I would like also to point out a little bit that your rhythm is pretty a little bit monotone because I feel like you could have used a little more rhythm in your speech, not too much, so it could like not too much, as in it could have been a storytelling, no, but it could be a little bit more, just a little. And then for your English, I don't think I should even comment on that because I think it's amazing. Your vocabularies are great. It's very vary from one another, and your fluency are great as well. Your articulation is also great because I can hear you. Sometimes the problem is that people pronunciation are great, but their articulation aren't really because maybe they're a little bit nervous and etc. But yours are great. Good luck, Frederico.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis, for your comments.
Wow, just wow, what an amazing performance by Frederico. Let's give a round of applause for Frederico. Your confidence was very well shown and as well as your preparations.
Yeah, I think so as well. That was a very interesting topic that you brought, and my junior high self would be actually jealous because of how well that speech was delivered. Nicely done, Fred, and especially for your age, I can say you have a range of vocabulary, and not to mention your body gestures were very cute, and it really engaged me as an audience and probably all of us.
So
Well,
Go for it.
yeah, go on, Frederico.
well, this is actually my first time having a speech competition.
Wow.
I find that speaking in a video is actually it's hard, and I think that it's easier than like regular speech because in regular speech you have to face the judges in real time, and if you make one single mistake, and yeah, it's kind of over, I guess. And yeah, I did some research. I did a lot of research, but sadly, I think that I could actually do more. But yeah, I'm happy what I have to the speech.
Wow, Federico, you didn't look like a first timer. I thought you have multiple speech competitions before this. And yeah, we hope that you can do better for the next year. I hope you will join for our next Escalates speech competition. By the
Thank
way, where did you get your inspirations from, Fred?
Well, most of it was very hard to find because equity is a very, in my opinion, a very hard topic to find, especially in Indonesia. So I find some articles about people that are dealing with, example, disabilities and others. Yeah.
We can see that you did a lot of research, and yeah, that was a very great speech by you. And we thank you again, Frederico, for your spectacular performance. Now let's move on to the next contestant, shall we?
For our eighth contestant, with the topic of the impact of Sumpah Pemuda towards millennial generation to embrace diversity, we have Andrew Nicholas Karsosoemo from SMPK BPK Penabur Bogor.
Good morning, all. To the judges I respect, to fellow participants and to listeners. My name is Andrew Nicholas. I am here representing my school, SMPK Penabur Bogor, and I am happy to be able to share with you my vision and perception on the impact of Sumpah Pemuda towards millennial generation to embrace their diversity. 93 years ago, when this nation, Indonesia, has not even existed yet, our forefathers united in a meeting in which the Sumpah Pemuda was born. In the darkest times, the darkest hours of this nation, this light, this beacon emerged to bring hope to our nation. The Sumpah Pemuda proved to be a major and necessary force on our efforts towards winning the war, and it proved glorious. It proved to be an essential key on our long hardship and the long dark night that once stood above us all. As we've heard of the simple yet strong sentence, united we stand, divided we fall, that sentence proved right, as it was the very principle that brought our nation to the doors of freedom, to the doors of salvation, to the very major movement and memento that we look back to on the history of our nation. The Sumpah Pemuda was and will be forever the mark of the strength, the spirit, and the unity of this country. But is it as simple as a mark? As simple as a memory passed down through the history of our nation with no significant impact whatsoever? To answer that question, I suggest we must apply at least these three methods. We must view our complex society nowadays. We must view the very form the Sumpah Pemuda takes in our culture. And we must view the very impact it brought to the history of our nation. Is the Sumpah Pemuda as simple as a mark? The answer is no. The Sumpah Pemuda is the very soul, the very living organism our nation takes form in, and it has the impact of guiding us all towards embracing our differences. I approve, and this I can tell you, despite its various cultures, its various ethnics, its various beliefs, our nation managed to put aside its differences to achieve a common goal, the prosperity and the strength of this nation. I believe there are people willing to fight for unity, willing to stand for unity, and willing to embrace unity as the strength of this nation. I believe there are more people willing to embrace this society, willing to stand tall for this society, more than those who doesn't. And I believe we, as proud citizens of this country, as proud citizens of Indonesia, are willing to stand tall for the prosperity and the strength of this nation. Is the Sumpah Pemuda has anything to do with bringing a significant impact? Yes, it does. The Sumpah Pemuda has an impact on being the very breath of our nation. It has the impact on the form our nation takes to this day, and it is the reason we stand united. Some might think that the impact it has had dimmed down nowadays. That thought is wrong. The Sumpah Pemuda is what we, the very citizens of Indonesia, are. It is why we stand tall today as a nation rich of diversity and culture. And that's what makes us unique from all. We embrace our diversity as our strength. I believe that the Sumpah Pemuda is a major force, a major movement, with the impact of binding us all millennials. And it has the impact of bringing our nation to the form it is today. Because if it had the impact on bringing us towards winning the war, I believe that it has the impact on moving our nation towards achieving its dreams, towards achieving its goals of a prosper and bright future. This has been Andrew. You have been amazing, and this is the speech I can deliver to you today.
Wow, what an amazing speech. Now I politely invite Miss Angie to give comments regarding Andrew's speech performance.
Okay, hello Andrew, it's nice to meet you. Okay, I would like to give an appreciation for you, Andrew, because I think you have a great confidence about your speech and also about the context of the speech itself. It's actually related to the theme, so yeah, it's okay. And then I think about the pace and rhythm. You should do it a little bit more, like chill. No need to rush. I mean, like chill. And then there's also okay, like articulations and also the volume. It doesn't have to be so like so straight. You can also, if there's any pronunciation that you need to bring it up, like the for example, like hello everyone, and here blah 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 nah nah nah. However, nah 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 nah. I think you need to do the pronunciation be more better, and also about the grammar and vocabulary. I think it is fine. And also about the eye contact, I think it's great too, because you literally see the camera from start until the end. And also about the hand gestures, I think you can give it a little more boost, about the hand gesture itself. And then as I said before, if you have the articulations and also the volume of intonation itself, you can bring an interest to the audience and also the engagement for the audience interest itself. But however, for the regarding the context itself, it's okay, it's fine. That's all I think. Thank you, Andrew, and back to you, Matthew and Shane.
Thank you, Miss Angie, for your wonderful comments. Round of applause for you, Andrew, and of course, your speech. Not only did the intro surprise me, but also the body of the speech was stunning. Your body gestures and your eye contact also engaged me, and probably all of us too. I can see that you're pretty confident about your speech.
Well, I personally thought that your speech was very inspiring and very encouraging. You used a range of words and your confidence is very well shown for me. Well, how do you feel, Drew, after hearing the judges' comments?
I feel relieved. Actually, this is not my first speech competition. This is my second speech competition. When my first speech competition, I remembered at that day I was very nervous and I didn't did quite well. And hearing the judges' comments today, I feel that I have improved and that the second competition was a huge milestone, and it's an honor for me to be a part of this experience.
We can see that you're doing really great. And do you have any questions you would like to ask to the judges? Well, I guess that's a no. Well done, Andrew. And it was a very breathtaking performance, especially for our young age. Before we continue, let us have our little commercial break. Don't go anywhere because right after this, we'll see more spectacular participants.
Dedenya nendang.
Bahagianya tak ternilai. Aku tahu di masa kehamilan asupan air mineral sangat penting.
Harus aman dan bersih. Untuk itu, kita pilih Le Mineral. Galonnya selalu baru, terjamin bersih.
Makin yakin dan bikin tenang deh.
Udah gitu, tutupnya kedap udara. Jadi bebas virus.
Jadi aman buat aku dan calon buah hatiku. Seger, kayak ada manis-manisnya.
Galon Le Mineral, bikin tenang, bikin nyaman.
Kini Indomaret Fresh Primer Jatinegara telah dibuka. Ayo datang dan rasakan pengalaman berbelanja yang lebih nyaman dengan beragam produk pilihan yang lebih lengkap dan dapatkan berbagai produk promo periode 8-12 Oktober 2021 di Indomaret Fresh Primer Jatinegara.
Sebelum kita melanjutkan, kami selaku panitia ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada The Sound. Think Sound, Think The Sound. Wah, kebetulan aku lagi butuh speaker nih untuk dengerin live stream lomba-lomba Escalades.
Nah, ini nih solusinya. Kalian bisa membeli berbagai speaker dari brand ternama seperti JBL, Ultimate Ears Wonderboom, and brand-brand lainnya di outlet The Sound terdekat.
Dan tentunya kalian nggak perlu khawatir dengan kualitasnya, karena perusahaan ini merupakan salah satu perusahaan terbesar dalam bidang audio.
Dan selanjutnya kami juga ingin berterima kasih nih kepada EduBridge. We bridge because we care.
Lalu sponsor berikutnya ada Kota Podomoro Tenjo.
Dan yang terakhir, kami juga ingin berterima kasih kepada Mayora Teh Pucuk Harum. Wah, Teh Pucuk Harum ini cocok banget loh untuk teman-teman yang lagi haus. Teh Pucuk Harum adalah solusinya untuk menghilangkan rasa dahak karena rasa teh terbaik ada di pucuknya.
Terima kasih karena telah mensponsori acara Escalades Equinox 2021. Tanpa bantuan sponsor kita hari ini, acara kita tidak akan berjalan dengan lancar.
Our next contestant will be Ermylora Girlbellanovia Parera from SMPK Penabur Kota Wisata with the topic of how to practice Pancasila in our complex society.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and audience members here today. I'm Ermylora from SMPK Penabur Kota Wisata, and today I want to talk about how we can achieve equality by practicing Pancasila in our complex society. Let me start my speech by going back to 1945. Indonesia had a diverse community, diverse social status, education, ethnic groups, religions, cultures, jobs, and so on. The founding fathers, Muhammad Yamin, Supomo, and Sukarno, created the national ideology known today as Pancasila. They created Pancasila in the hopes of overcoming many differences and achieving equality in various areas of society. Ladies and gentlemen, diversity still exists in Indonesia today, and it will only grow in the future. In today's diverse and complex society, equality is crucial. The dictionary defines equality as a state of being equal in rights, status, and opportunity. That means everyone has the same importance and deserves to be treated with their rights and needs in mind. And Pancasila plays an important role in achieving equality. The first principle of Pancasila, Ketuhanan Yang Maha Esa, or belief in the Almighty God. Everyone is free to embrace and practice their faith. That's why, despite differences, we should accept everyone's faith. The second principle, kemanusiaan yang adil dan beradab, or a just and civilized humanity. We should treat each other with civility, admit the equality of human rights, regardless of differences, and prioritize the values of humanity. The third principle, Persatuan Indonesia, or unity of Indonesia. Given the diversity of our ethnic groups, languages, and cultures, we must maintain complete unity. Every October 28th, Indonesia celebrates Sumpah Pemuda, or the Youth Pledge Day. This national day correlates with the third principle, which reminds us to keep the nation united while also ensuring equality and justice for all communities. The fourth principle, kerakyatan yang dipimpin oleh hikmat kebijaksanaan dalam permusyawaratan perwakilan, or democracy, led by the wisdom of the representatives of the people. Everyone has the right to voice their opinions in discussions and have equal responsibilities in society. The fifth and final principle, keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia, or social justice for all Indonesians. It is important to find a balance between one's rights and responsibilities. Everyone has the right to be treated fairly in all aspects of society, especially in the political, economic, and socio-cultural areas. Pancasila, as the nation's way of life, serve as a guide for problem-solving and national unity. This also applies in terms of achieving equality in Indonesia. Equality is possible if the Indonesian nation, you and I, implement Pancasila at any time and under any circumstances. I would like to remind everyone here that equality does not mean undermining positions or roles of those who believe they are superior, but finding a balance. I once heard a metaphor that states, when wearing shoes, you don't want one to be high-heeled and the other to be flat, because you won't be able to walk comfortably. We must all be on the same level to walk and pursue our goals and dreams together as a society. As teenagers, we should start by having a good mindset and instill the Youth Pledge values of unity, helping others in need, and equality. I would like to challenge you to start practicing Pancasila in your daily life. Start with the people around you, and I believe we can make a better life for ourselves and our complex society. I am Ermylora from SMPK Penabur Kota Wisata, and thank you for listening to my speech.
Wow, what an amazing speech brought by Ermylora. Now, I kindly invite Miss Dwi to give comments regarding Ermylora's speech performance.
Okay. Hi. Is my audio clear? Yes, yeah? Okay. Hi, Ermylora. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Ermylora, I think the content of your speech was relevant and well structured, but I think it is a bit predictable. But it was actually okay. The content is actually something that we would expect. Although your rhythm, your articulation, your pace were stable from the beginning until the end, I do think though your speech was lacking the energy it needs to engage the audience. You can also try to use more facial expressions to sound more confident in your delivery. So yeah, try to do that. And you can also try different pace or rhythm. It can give your speech another dimension, I would say. So try to do that next time. There were also a few mistakes in grammar and pronunciation, but they didn't really affect meaning, so that's okay. So again, I think your speech is okay, but you can actually try to improve on yourself by using more facial expressions, using different pace and rhythm to engage your audience more. Okay, I think that's all, Ermylora. Good luck for you. Thank you, Jane and Achu. Back to you.
Thank you, Miss Dwi, for your wonderful comments. What an amazing performance by you, Ermylora. We were very awed by your performance. You delivered such an amazing speech in such a unique way. I'm truly impressed, don't you think, Matthew?
I'm very impressed as well, Shane. I really like how Ermylora delivered the speech, and her voice was very calming for me, and I can tell that she did a lot of research for her topic. Well, how are you feeling, Ermylora?
Well, at first I was nervous, but now I'm fine. And of course, I'm thankful for all the comments. And since this is my first time, I will definitely use the comments to improve for next time. Thank you.
Nicely done. I noticed that you also have a very soothing voice, like Matthew said, and not to mention your body. The body of your speech was very influential. And as Miss Dwi said, I like your pace, and it's very consistent. So well done. If I may ask, do you have any personal comments to the judges that you want to ask, maybe?
I just want to say that I'm very thankful for the comments. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Em, for your incredible performance. Now, let us continue to the next contestant.
For our 10th contestant, we have Gladys Ibrena Victoria Tarigat from SMPK Penabur Sumarekon Bekasi, who is going to bring the topic of Do Animals Deserve Rights?
Greetings to the honorable judges, teachers, and fellow participants. Before I start, allow me to ask everyone here. Have you ever seen an animal rights violation, either in real life or from the internet? Do we know that many sources estimated that one animal is abused every minute? That is horrible. Unfortunately, we barely talk about these things. But before we continue, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gladys Ibrena. I'm from SMPK Penabur Sumarekon Bekasi, and I'm honored to deliver a speech for us today about animal rights. The definition of animal rights itself is moral principle that are grounded in the belief that animals deserve to live as they wish without being subjected by the desires of human beings. We can clearly see these things on the internet, but there are still some people that think animals don't deserve rights. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, I'd like to give a reminder for a trigger warning, for there are a few pictures that might be disturbing. Now, imagine this. We woke up in the morning, grabbed a drink, then turned on the TV. And we saw the headline of the news. This dog was a victim of a horrific machete attack and was taken to a hospital, and so on. Feeling disturbed, we decided to scroll through Instagram. But the first post that we saw is this. And then this and this. Horrible, isn't it? As God's creation, we are expected to take good care of the animals. But the fact that now I'm standing before you is proving there is something wrong with animal rights. Because we don't just make speeches about unimportant topics, right? It's important for the world to know more about animal rights, to serve some justice for our fellow earthlings. But the problem is, there are some people that think animals are a lower ranked species than us. To everyone who's watching this, I'd like you to recall, have you ever visited any of these places shown to you to your screen? In these pictures, all of them are seems just fine. But sadly, behind any of these, they are suffering. They are mistreated by humans. As Mr. Mark Bakov said in the following quote, although animals are maybe different from us, this does not make them less than us. Yet there are still humans using animals for human purposes. When I was doing some research about this topic, I encountered many animal rights violations. And it broke my heart. Why are we using animals for money, for fame, a symbol of wealth, or to entertain us? For example, ladies and gentlemen, no tiger were supposed to be standing on 2 feet, walking on their 2 feet, and getting whipped multiple times if they failed. Neither were rats and rabbits used for laboratory experiments. Why are they here locked in cages, circling around their small spaces when they are supposed to be living freely in their natural habitat? Even though we need to fulfill our needs and wants, we must choose another way that does not violate animal rights. Because just like us, animals have their own feelings, their own minds. They have a home and they have a family. So, fellow humans, let's educate ourselves. Let's be wise. Let's acknowledge more about animals. So moving forward, we can treat animals better than what society is doing in today's world. This is the end of my speech. I hope we can learn something about it, and I hope we all have an amazing day. Thank you for this opportunity, and may we all remember that all animals deserve the same rights and peace just like humans. Animal lives matter!
Wow, what an incredible speech by Gladys. I think your speech was really engaging. I'm sure you caught all of the audience eyes by your confidence. Now, I politely invite Miss Dennis to give comments regarding Gladys' speech performance.
Hello, Gladys. It's nice to meet you. I really enjoy your performance, and I will give you a little comments regarding your speech. I think your speech was very passionate. That's what I noticed. I think that's what everyone noticed. Like the first, second day we're into the speech, you gave a good example as well. And I'm really into the little, clips of where you show what you were talking about. It is really great to show what you were trying to tell. Also, your tone and your gesture regarding the animal rights speech was simply great because obviously you were trying to show that how empathic you are towards them. However, I noticed there are also a few pauses. I think there are just a little bit too long, just a little, because again, this is a speech, not a storytelling. However, if I think it was definitely okay if you do it in storytelling, but speeches are simply you need to be more engaging where you don't need pauses too long in order to express your emotion. You can simply just rephrase it through words. I think that's yeah, that's the thing. And then for the for your research regarding the topic, I think it's really great. And I did mention that I really like the little touch where at the beginning you show us, like, what happened when we Google some things, and then it is what it shows. I think it gives us a little vision of what kind of things that you've been researching about. I think that's pretty great, and your speech are very concise. I like it. I like the pace. I like you're very passionate. Again, I say it. However, for your time, I think, well, actually, the time is pretty great. It's not bad. It's not excellent either, but it's great. It's decent. And then for the confidence, I think you give a great um, amazing performance where you are very confident, and that's what I really like about you. Passionate, confidence, concise, and you clearly know what you were trying to the message you were trying to give us. I think that's it. Good luck, Gladys.
Thank you, Miss Dennis, for your comments. Personally, I'm very speechless. Gladys, your performance was very astonishing, and the editing skills also surprised us. Your hand gestures was also very unique, and the intro of your speech was very unique as well. And you're also very passionate and confident about your speech. How do you feel about your speech, Gladys?
Yes, once again, thank you, Ms. Judge, for your comments. It really helped me to improve myself. And I think about my speech, it was pretty great. I really love the outcome. And yes, according to Ms. Dennis' point about the storytelling, yes, I actually, before this speech, I often join some storytelling competitions. So I think it was a little bit went there, and it was this is my first speech contest, so I'm really thankful for all the nice comments. And yes, once again, really thankful, and have a good evening for all of us. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Gladys. We all can definitely see that you have put a lot of time and effort into researching this topic. I think your pronunciation and your tone were very immaculate, and I can see in the video how passionate you were towards animal rights. I think we all can see that. If I may know, how long did it take you to prepare for the speech?
So excuse me, like for the script only, or like for the video, or for the editing?
The whole entire speech.
The whole. So I think the one who really takes a lot of process is the script, because, well, based on my past things about storytelling that I was telling you before, I usually take a long time to form the script because it's usually too long. It's past the duration. So I was taking a few days to create the script and cutting it also. And for the shooting of the video, I think it took about 2 days, because that time I was trying to shoot it at night, and it was not that maximum. It was like not the best that I was going for. So I thought, like, maybe I would try it tomorrow, and it was pretty great. I think, oh, this is the best I can do. I hope the judges will like it. And so I finished it. I finished the shooting, and then of course, I edited. Before I shoot, though, I already prepared some the clips when I was also researching about the facts about animals and all other search I was going to. And
some of those animals abuse clips I found along the way. I just put it in because I thought it will really nice. It will really show the point that I'm making in my speech. And so after I shoot, I edit it, and of course I give it to you judges. And yeah, thank you. All the nice comments, and it really showed me to improve. And once again, judges, thank you.
Well, I think we all loved it a lot. Your speech really captivated us all. Thank you, Gladys, for your astounding performance. I'm sure everyone got what you wanted to deliver to all of us. Before we continue, let us have our little commercial break. Don't go anywhere, because right after this, we'll see our last participant.
Haus di luar, haus di rumah, makan pedas di luar, makan pedas di rumah. Paling nikmat minumnya teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum, teh pucuk harum, manisnya pas. Teh pucuk harum mau dong, enggak nyangkut di leher, enggak bikin haus lagi.
Mau di dalam atau di luar rumah, minumnya teh pucuk harum. Bikin seger di mana aja.
Sebelum kita melanjutkan, kami selaku panitia ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, Universitas Bina Nusantara, Yuzuti, dan juga Indomaret.
Kami juga ingin berterima kasih kepada Kota Podomoro Tenjo.
Lalu sponsor berikutnya ada Mayora, teh pucuk harum. Rasa teh terbaik ada di pucuknya.
Dan yang terakhir, kami juga ingin berterima kasih kepada EduBridge. Nah, untuk teman-teman yang ingin berkuliah di luar negeri, bisa langsung konsultasi aja nih di EduBridge. Pokoknya udah diurusin semua deh sama EduBridge, mulai dari aplikasi, visa, akomodasi, kursus persiapan IELTS, hingga pendampingan di negeri tujuan, dan persiapan untuk berkuliah di luar negeri.
Dan mereka juga punya layanan terbaru loh, yaitu Pipe Psychotest. Nah, ini cocok banget nih buat kalian yang mau tahu sebenarnya kalian tuh cocok di jurusan apa dan prospek karirnya bakal gimana. Jadi kalian nggak perlu khawatir karena we bridge because we care.
Terima kasih karena telah mensponsori acara ESCALADES Equinox 2021. Tanpa bantuan sponsor kita hari ini, acara kita tidak akan berjalan dengan lancar. That's it for our little commercial break. Now we're going to continue. And so for our last contestant, we welcome Keisha Lael Abigail Gulo from SMPN 41 Jakarta with the topic of the importance of equity in education in Indonesia.
Indonesia, our beloved country. Lots of cultures, lots of diversity, lots of languages, and lots of people who could not have the education that they deserve. Oh, greetings everyone. My name is Krishalom, and I'm from 41 State Junior High School, Jakarta. The title of my speech is Equity, a Necessity in Indonesia's Education. Thank you for giving me the chance to be able to deliver the speech to you all, as I feel very honored to do so. Over the years, Indonesia has developed more and keeps advancing. One of the things that advanced in Indonesia is education. Education in Indonesia isn't the best, but it is certainly better than how it was before. And yet, it seems like its equity is often questioned, as Indonesia's education doesn't appear to possess such a thing. But let's be honest. What's the point of it? Why is education equity so important? Isn't it fine the way it is right now? Equity is achieved by giving people what they need, and the point is to make things fair. According to OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, equity has two dimensions, which is fairness and inclusion. By having equity, we can possess the two in our education. Having equity can also mean that everyone can undergo education with better quality, which leads to better jobs, and having better jobs leads to better prosperity, and having better prosperity leads to an overall better caliber in the people's life, as well as advancing the intellectual life of the people, which fulfills one of Indonesia's goals according to the preamble of the 1945 Constitution. So now I want to talk about my own experiences on forming the thought of why equity in education in Indonesia is important. It all starts from a small island where my parents came from called Nias, and it is located near the Sumatra island. Nias isn't as developed as other places in Indonesia, so the education quality there isn't that good. Also, the internet signal there isn't as great as it is here in Jakarta, but it wasn't really an issue for education as schools were done face to face. Well, until the pandemic came. Because of it, lots of students have their education hindered, as not only the internet there is bad, not everyone has laptops or even phones to use for online school. And it is something that's sad because it shows that although everyone has the right to pursue education, not everyone is actually able to do it or able to fulfill it. From that, I learned the importance of equity in education in Indonesia. If we had equity in our education, lots of students would still be able to learn without any problems. No, every student would still be able to learn without any problems and with the level of quality they need. The preamble of the 1945 Constitution has stated that one of Indonesia's goals is to advance the intellectual life of the people. But as far as we've seen, Indonesia still has a long way to go, as its equity is still far from reach. By having equity, people can have an overall better quality in life. That's why let us all hope and work hard for the betterment of Indonesia's education. Equity is the sine qua non of education. Therefore, it being important. We have come to the end of my speech. I hope this speech could be useful or beneficial for everyone who listened. I would also like to sincerely apologize if there are any flaws and or mistakes by my words and or actions. Thank you very much. Good day, everyone.
Wow, Keisha, I'm very impressed by your speech. It was very captivating by your voice because your voice is very sweet. Now, I kindly invite Miss Angie to give comments regarding Keisha's speech performance.
Hello, Keisha. I hope you have a good day today. So, I would like to give an appreciation for you because I think your pronunciation is great. Your body speech is also great. The introduction itself is quite describing about the theme of your speech, and also the body of the speech itself. I think you have a good, uh, a good, a good combination. Like you give us the data of the reference that you will use for the speech, and also you use the some article to your speech, and also for the eye contact. I think it was great. The expression is also great. Gesticulations, of course, and body movement. I think it's also great. But the fluency itself, well, I love it. As an audience, as me as the audience itself, I think you have the certain power to give us the audience to get interest in your speech, and also but the time management is also pretty great. However, you kind of put it a little bit long to for 2 seconds. I think also, but the grammar and vocabulary, I think it's also great. I think about the body gestures, for the hand gestures, it's great. However, if you are doing a speech, I think there's no need to do a lot of movement, as in you go walk to the right and then you go walk to the left, and then I think your articulations and also the volume of intonations of your speech is it's quite great. I love it. It interests me. I think that's all. Thank you, Shannon and Matthew. Thank you, Keisha. Have a good day.
Thank you, Miss Angie, for your comments. And Keisha, wow, what a remarkable performance by such a young lady. I really love how you deliver the speech, especially your tone, and not to mention the body of the speech was also influential. Uh oh yeah, your voice really reminded me of Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. It was cute, and yeah, I must admit, your speech was top notch, Keisha. I'm amazed.
I also find your speech was very powerful, and as an audience, I enjoyed it really well. The words you chose was very interesting, and I really like your tone, your gestures, your overall speech. Well, after hearing the comments from our judges, how do you feel, Keisha?
Well, I first things first, I would like to say thank you for the flattering comments made by the judges. I'm really happy hearing that. But also, after rewatching the recording that I had, I saw that I stuttered quite a lot, and I feel a bit, a bit. I don't know what's the word for it. A bit sad. I don't know, but I felt like I could have done better. Also, yeah, uh, there was a lot that I want to talk about in there, but turns out 5 minutes wasn't that long. I thought 5 minutes was like I thought I wouldn't reach 4 minutes. Turns out it's longer, so there's that. But overall, I'm very thankful for given the opportunity to uh, compete in here. This is the second time actually. My uh, competing in a speech competition. I don't know if I have improved or not. I hope I did. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha. You're very humble. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask to the judges?
Well, not really. I think it's enough.
Okay, thank you so much. It was an incredible speech.
Wow, Shane, I think today's performance was very amazing. Don't you think as well?
Yep, I think so as well. I think all of them did very well, especially for those who attended the speech competition for the first time. I think we all need to appreciate them.
I agree. I wouldn't be able to give a speech like them.
I know, right? Also, don't forget that we will have a fan favorite one. So give your guys a vote for your favorite speaker.
I wish you all the best, and I hope that you guys will win. And that's all for today's speech competition.
We, as the committee for Escalates Equinox, especially the committee for this Escalate speech, would like to thank you all, especially to the respected judges, our fellow participants, and the audiences for attending and supporting this event.
We also would like to apologize if there are any inconvenience or faults made by the committee throughout the event. We hope to see you guys again in the next Escalates event.
Escalates Equinox 2021?
Yakin pasti bisa.